Welcome friends, welcome back to the kitchen. Welcome back to what was on sale at the grocery store. This piece of brisket. This is my first video. This is my first day of shooting videos after the Christmas New Year's break. So just after New Year's at our local grocery store, I was able to pick up this 2.5 kilo piece of brisket. And based on what was there, it looked like they just had taken a whole pack of briskets and kind of indiscriminately cut them into pieces. 2.5 kilos of brisket for just over $9 Canadian. I thought that was a pretty good deal. So I picked it up. My first instinct was to slow braise this and use a lot of Southwest flavors and make tacos. But I've done that recently, fairly recently. So I thought, okay, well, let's just do it as a pot roast. Since it's beginning of January, it's cold outside. Let's do sort of that traditional pot roasty type flavor. Maybe a couple of twists along the way. It's cold outside. Let's have some comfort food. So I'm going to salt and pepper both sides of this. Sort of trimmed off most of the really heavy fat, but it is still quite a fatty piece of meat. So there will be quite a lot of fat in the slow cooker at the end. And I've decided to use the slow cooker because this piece of meat wasn't going to fit in any of my Dutch ovens. And cooking in the slow cooker leaves my oven free to make some Yorkshire puddings later and roast some potatoes. So into the slow cooker, I'm first going to put a layer of onions. No significance to the fact that they're red onions other than red onions were on sale. Next, I'm going to put in a layer of mushrooms. Again, these were ugly mushrooms on sale. Now, at the beginning, the crock pot's going to look really full. It's going to look like not everything's going to fit. But as soon as it starts cooking, it will cook down really quickly. So in goes the brisket. And then around that, I'm going to put the rest of the mushrooms. All right, so get all those mushrooms in there. You're right, I didn't brown it. Not going to brown it. Not strictly necessary in a long, slow cook like this. For meats that you're going to cook quickly, browning is an important step. For something that's going to go, 4 or 5 hours in the oven or 8 to 10 hours in a slow cooker, browning is not strictly necessary. So next is the liquid. I've got beef stock today because I've got beef stock today. To that, I'm going to add some pepper and some salt. You could 100% swap out that beef if you don't have beef with chicken stock. It could just be water. It could be beer. It could be wine, either white or red. I think white would work better for this. Play with your liquids. Doesn't have to be beef stock. Cook for your own palate, and if that means this was white wine, then go ahead and use white wine. To that, I'm going to add some garlic paste, some paprika, a little bit of horseradish, well, that much horseradish, and, of course, Marmite, because what would a beef dish be without Marmite? If you don't have Marmite, can't get Marmite, don't know what Marmite is, or if you live in a Vegemite country, use Vegemite. Easy substitution for this would be soy sauce, Worcester sauce, Hendo sauce, fish sauce would kind of accomplish the same thing. A dark miso paste would get you to the same spot, I would think. Okay, so pour our liquid in. It doesn't necessarily have to be poured over the meat, but just around. And lid on. Oh, there we go, lid on. Okay, so I don't know how long I'm going to let this cook yet. I'm going to cook it on low. Slow cookers like this, or crock pots, or slow cookers, whatever you want to call it, things like this work because the lid seals on the top. It's got a rubber seal, and part of the purpose of that seal is to hold all the moisture inside, and it keeps it as an even temperature. So don't be lifting the lid during the cooking. But somewhere between the 6 and 7 hour mark, the beef will be cooked. At that point, maybe lift the lid, jab it with an instant read thermometer to see if it's done cooking. In that 6 to 8 hour period, as soon as it reaches temperature where it's cooked, you'll be able to slice off nice slices of the beef. It'll hold its shape. It'll be cooked, but it'll hold its shape. If you go 8 to 10 hours, somewhere in that 8 to 10 hours, it will start to fall apart and you can shred it, which gives a different texture to the end meal, different presentation, different texture. I don't know where I'm going to go. I've got about 8 hours until Julie gets home from work. So we're probably going to hit the 8 hour mark for sure. But the timer is set to the max, just so it doesn't shut off. I will see you in a bunch of hours. Okay, brisket, done. Roasting potatoes, roasted in the sun, and Yorkshire puddings, ready to go. So what I need to do now is turn this off. Where's off? There's off. I turn this off, and I want to make a gravy. So I'm going to pull the brisket out. If I can get it out in one piece, let's see. Different tool. There we go. Brisket out onto a platter. Onions and mushrooms into a bowl. And the mostly onion and mushroom-free cooking liquid into a pot. Okay, so I'm going to bring this up to a boil. I'm going to make a gravy. I'm going to use Buerre Manié. So Buerre Manié, if you've been here a while, you know I love using this stuff. It's 1-to-1 flour to butter volume. So 1 part butter, 1 part flour by volume, mashed together into a paste. And so I made this for something before Christmas. I took what I didn't use, I wrapped it up in some wax paper, stuck it in the freezer. It'll keep for quite a long time. If you want to keep it even longer, use some plastic wrap if you've got plastic wrap. I usually don't have it around the kitchen. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to slice off maybe 3 or 4 tablespoons for the amount of liquid I have. And I'm going to add 1 tablespoon at a time into the cooking liquid and whisk it in. It's going to melt. The butter's going to keep the flour from clumping, and as it cooks, it's going to thicken, and it'll thicken fairly quickly. Let's add in another one. This gives a great silky smooth sauce, and it's a method that allows you, in a case like this where I didn't have a chance to make a roux, allows me to thicken the sauce. And even though I could have made a roux in the bottom of this pot and then put the liquid in and stirred it, I can be a little more precise by how much I add. And I can just keep watching the sauce until I get it thick enough and then stop adding in the Buerre Manié.
Hi friends! Hey Glen, back again! Heard there's more!
Hey Jules, yes.
Forks.
So, forks, get a plate.
Oh, I get a plate too. I'll get 2 just in case.
Yorkshire pudding.
We're having Yorkshire puddings again?
Well, we'll put a Yorkshire pudding out on the plate.
Okay.
So, in previous episodes, roast potatoes, Yorkshire pudding.
You can see Glen's very proud of his Yorkshire
I'm
pudding.
very proud of my Yorkshire pudding. And the brisket. I don't know. Let's see.
I never know. I
Well,
can't help.
just the way that it was. Okay, so this has gone to the point where
It is.
it's just fall apart tender.
Looks good.
Yeah, so let's put a little on the plate.
Am I supposed to pick off the plate or the chopping board? I don't know. This is so...
Let's pick off the, yeah.
There we go.
We'll give it a try without. Yeah.
And then you've got all the onions, mushrooms.
Well, I need a mushroom on top.
There you go. You don't even know what's in there right now. We'll just come up with more reasons to sample. Oh, that's too big. I'm in trouble.
It's the classic pot roast flavor. Classic pot roast flavor. And that'll be enough food for us for a week or more. I did a little bit of gravy.
More tasting. It's like we keep building it. It's like, here's the basic roast flavor. Here it is with the onions and the mushrooms. Here it is with the onions, the mushrooms,
And the gravy.
and the gravy. And then I'll have to have it with the onions, the mushrooms, the gravy, and some of that, the Yorkshire,
The
pudding there.
Yorkshire and the potatoes.
Yeah. It's going to be great.
Altogether, it's a deal. Now, you don't like mushrooms, because I know that a lot of people don't. Leave them out. There really is no substitute for what the mushroom brings to the dish. Just
No,
leave them out.
you're looking for, if you don't like them, substitute some other umami kind of flavor that you like.
Yeah. I don't know what that would be in
I don't know
vegetable
either.
form. But, you know, so you're going to be adding miso, or you're going to be adding Marmite, or you're going to be adding... I mean, those are all the other things that you can put in. That's really good. Check out the video for the Yorkshire puddings, because they're amazing. And with the sauce, it's going to be fantastic. And I'm really proud of those roasted potatoes.
Those are nice and crunchy. I like those.
So if you keep your eyes open, dinner can be a deal. Dinner can be easy to make, because it's just toss it in the crock pot and let it go for 8 or 9 hours. You don't have to really think about it. Little mise en place, cutting up the onions and the mushrooms. Simple. $9. Thanks for stopping by. See you again soon.
I'll just keep eating.